Well, a disappointing day. When you give them 14 points on offense, it's really disturbing, and disappointing. So that falls on me. The execution on certain things was really disappointing and shouldn't happen. Dropping the ball on a simple toss, you get a first down, and then forcing balls when things aren't there, can't happen. I mean, every play isn't going to be open and work perfectly, so you got to take a sack, got to step up and run. There's a lot of things to do. So obviously, I'm not doing a good job of practicing those things. For them to show up and to give the other team 14 points. So did we play hard to the end? Yeah. Did we come back and tie the game? Yes. When these things happen, you got to kind of let this wound sting. You got to let it sting for a while. It's got to burn. It's got to really bother you. If it doesn't bother you, then you shouldn't be playing football or coaching football. Losses are going to happen, but to give people 14 points like that is very disappointing. So we've got to coach that better, analyze it, coach the small little details of it, practice throwing the ball away, stepping up and running the ball, taking a sack, finding the check down, catching simple balls. A lot of things that not getting dumb penalties, being more efficient up front. I mean, a lot of things to work on, and still had a chance to win at the end, and didn't come through on a pass in the flat that we got to throw and catch and get in the end zone. It's a loss that hurts, and we'll try to improve and get better and move on to the next game.
Is Jeff, with this being the second straight game of giving up at least one defensive turnover, what do you feel like is the biggest struggle with ball security, or just what do you feel like is the biggest struggle with offense right now?
Well, all I can do is analyze the ones that have happened. The interception last game, they were just forced it right down the middle, stared right something down, and have a dry route wide open underneath. That happened. Today we dropped a simple toss to just get around the edge and get a yard. Force some balls, probably force some more. And we've got to know where the underneath throw is, know where the check down is, and then step up and run the football, throw it away. And you know what? We've got to have some running game and some other guys stepping up as well, not to put too much pressure on the quarterback, but we can do better than that, and we need to do better than that, and we'll work hard to improve on that.
Coach, if you could just talk about, Miller had got a little out of sorts in the Pittsburgh game and then kind of settled down, got you guys back into the game against Pitt today in the third quarter. Seemed like you got a little bit out of sorts as well. When that happens, are you having a lot of conversations with him when he comes back to the sidelines? Like, what does that do to stabilize him and get him refocused?
Well, we got to, we talk for sure. It's kind of the things I mentioned. Stay locked in on a progression. You got to stick with it, and if it's not open or you get pressure, you got to run it or throw it away. And you throw it away, you got to throw it way out of bounds. If not, you just take the sack. So some things came up, and it happened too many times a day, so that was disappointing. So we got to practice it. We're going to have to just simulate some things and make sure we're doing some things better. Now, sometimes I don't know, maybe we weren't blocking very well either. But you just can't turn the ball over. You got to pump the ball, let your defense play. We didn't punt at all the first half, so you can't just expect you're never going to punt. You're going to get sacked every now and then. They're going to guard somebody. They're going to make a play, get a stop, and you live with it, move on, and you've got to definitely improve on that.
Jess, you kind of touched on it, Jeff, but the 5 sacks, are you seeing different things with each of those sacks? Where do you see it in those?
We'll see a lot of things. I do think our offensive line needs to play better. I do. We got to be able to block movement better. We got to be able to pass block better. We got to be more consistent. We got to find a way to run the ball better as well. Block some moving parts. They're not just going to stand there like a statue. They're going to slant, angle, and shake you every now and then. We got to be able to block that. You got to understand that. Kind of what I talked about, you can't have that many negative plays. negative plays that are hurting us and the turnovers are hurting us. They'll get stops every now and then, but you can't give them points like we have the last 2 games.
When Miller needs to burn the ball or take the sack, it's sort of a gray area for a lot of quarterbacks at times. He struggled with that today. How do you get him to see it better, feel it better on when he can burn the ball or successfully burn the ball or kind of eat the sack?
Well, we're going to have to take segments of practice and simulate broken plays and force him to go backwards and chuck it away and take the sack and force him to find checkdowns better. It's just a combination of a lot of things. And I'll have to look at the video more to dissect it in detail. But we'll take what we see from video and we'll try to work hard to improve it and not have it happen as much as it has.
Coach, you had a couple of key third and short plays, one at the end of regulation and one in overtime. You did opt to go to the pass rather than the run. Is that just more to the confidence that you have in the pass game versus the run game, or is that just the looks that UVA was giving you defensively?
Well, I'm not for sure which ones you're talking about. We had one at the end, it was about 3rd and 3 maybe. It's tough to run down there on 3rd and 3 at that time. So we I thought we had someone open in the flat, just from my angle. The other one's, I'm not for sure.
Jeff, as a play caller, how do you stay faithful to the running game when it's struggling? Because I'm assuming that you don't necessarily want to be throwing 45 plus times a game, but on the other hand, if you see it getting stopped, you got to try something new. Like how do you try and balance that?
Well, we were really efficient in the first half, other than the drop toss on offense, moving the ball, just beat ourselves, and there wasn't many possessions with the controlled passing game, getting the ball out of his hand. Then they changed some things up in the second half, played pass coverage, and did a couple of different things. And yes, the balance has to be better. We got to work hard to do that. Get some running backs down. We got to get some guys in the backfield that are able to play and get them healthy, and then that was a little bit of an issue. Stuff going on there.
Last two, Coach, on that pass to Isaac Brown that they were incomplete. What do you see on that, like from your vantage point? I mean, you get convert there when we change and probably get 7 points like that.
I don't know. Obviously, I don't agree with it. So there's not a whole lot I can say on it. I didn't see it up close, but it's the call they made.
Last one.
Coach Duke went out early in the game. Is there any update on his status and what made him hammer him?
Well, he's had an ankle. He tried to play with it, couldn't do it. Probably re-injured it again. Keewan came back from a high ankle after 2 weeks. He's supposed to be out 4. He's tried to play, so I give him credit there. We got to get the running backs healthy so that they can help us win.
All right.